Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be taking a deep dive into something pretty interesting.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, it should be. So, you know how everyone's been buzzing about the new HBO Harry Potter series?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's been pretty much impossible to avoid all the news and fan theories, but we're going to be looking specifically at the casting decisions, especially for Dumbledore.
That's a big one. Dumbledore is like the heart of the whole story.
Absolutely. And there's been some really interesting stuff coming out in articles, entertainment news, and industry websites. Like, remember how everyone thought Mark Rylance was a shoo-in for the role?
Yeah. I remember reading about that in Variety back in November of 2024, I think. They said he was like top of the list.
Yeah. And honestly, when you think about his past roles, it makes sense.
Oh, totally. Like, have you seen him in Wolf Hall as Thomas Cromwell?
Yeah, he was incredible in that.
That quiet intensity, that piercing gaze, like he's seeing right through you.
And then that subtle way he lets his emotions play across his face.
Exactly. Now imagine all that. But as Dumbledore, like imagine him with that same presence, that same authority, standing in front of a room full of Hogwarts students.
Oh, wow. Yeah, delivering those iconic lines, those little nuggets of wisdom.
I get chills just thinking about it.
Me too. And it's not just the serious side. Remember how he was in the BFG?
Oh, right. That sort of whimsical, almost mischievous energy.
Variety even mentioned his twinkle in his eye. Can you imagine how magical that would be as Dumbledore?
Seriously, he could have brought so much to the role.
But then, in January of this year, things took a really sad turn.
Oh, right. When Rylance's wife passed away.
Yeah, Claire Van Kampen. They'd been together for so long, both personally and creatively. It was a huge loss.
It must have been devastating.
It makes you realize that, life can throw these curveballs, and suddenly a massive project like this might not seem so important.
It puts things in perspective. It makes total sense why he'd withdraw.
Right. Like he needs time to grieve and heal. And who knows how filming would have worked out with everything going on. But then the rumor mill started up again. And this time, the name that popped up was John Lithgow.
Yeah, I was so surprised by that one.
Honestly, my jaw dropped when I heard it. I mean, Lithgow is a phenomenal actor. There's no question about that.
Oh, absolutely.
But he's American.
Yeah, it seemed to go against what the showrunners had said.
Right. Remember how they were emphasizing the finest cream of British and Irish talent?
And all the previous Dumbledores have been British or Irish.
Exactly. Richard Harris,
Yeah.
Michael Gambon, Jude Law. It's like it's become this unspoken rule.
So how does John Lithgow fit into all this?
Right. Is this a break from tradition, a wild card, or something else entirely? We'll dive into all of that after a quick break.
Yeah, we'll be right back, and we'll unravel this whole Lithgow mystery. You know, it's funny, isn't it? We sort of get stuck on these ideas about characters, like, oh, Dumbledore has to be British.
Right. Like it's written into his character description or something.
Yeah.
When you actually think about it, is there anything about Dumbledore's, core personality, like his wisdom or compassion or even that playful side of him, is any of that tied to being British?
Exactly. I mean, it's more about capturing that twinkle in his eye, that feeling that he knows more than he's letting on.
Yeah. And that ability to inspire, trust and loyalty in people.
Right, and Lithgow definitely has that, like he can project those qualities.
I have to admit, when I first heard his name, I was like, wait, John Lithgow as Dumbledore?
Uh-huh.
Seriously. But then it hit me. The Crown.
Oh, yeah.
He was Winston Churchill.
And he was brilliant.
He completely embodied this iconic British figure.
Right.
It wasn't just the voice and the mannerisms. He even captured that inner turmoil.
And the strength. It's not easy to pull that off.
Not at all. And you know what else? He's currently on stage in London playing Roald Dahl.
Oh, wow. I did not know that.
Yeah. So he's literally immersed in British culture right now, working with British actors and directors.
It's like some kind of, he could really surprise us with how he balances that wisdom with those moments of humor. And, it makes you think, how much does fan perception actually influence these decisions?
Ooh, that's interesting, because we're in this world now where social media amplifies fan voices, especially with a franchise like Harry Potter. Do studios really take that into account?
Oh, they definitely do. They're very aware of fan expectations and the potential backlash. Look at what happened with some of the superhero movies recently. Studios are watching. But, while fan input is valuable, sometimes can be a bit limiting,
Right, because if we only stick to what we know, what we expect, we might miss out on something amazing.
Exactly.
So are you saying we should be open to this curveball, this American wizard in British robes.
I think it's about embracing the unexpected, the possibility that Lithgow could surprise us. At the end of the day, great acting transcends nationality.
That's a great point. And it makes me think of that line from Goblet of Fire. Dumbledore says, "It matters not what someone is born, but what they grow to be."
Perfect. That's exactly it.
So we need to remember that as we go through all this casting news and speculation.
It's about the possibilities. While we wait for HBO to make it official, let's just consider what Lithgow could bring to the role.
All right, so we've talked about Mark Rylance, the reasons for his withdrawal, and this whole John Lithgow thing, and the power of fan perception. It seems like the takeaway here is be open-minded. Embrace the unexpected, because sometimes the most magical things are the ones we least expect.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Sometimes those unexpected turns are the most compelling. And who knows, maybe this casting decision will be one of those moments.
This whole thing has really gotten people talking, hasn't it? About who should play Dumbledore.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It shows just how much these characters mean to people, Like how invested we are in seeing them brought to life the right way.
It's a good reminder that stories, they can really get us thinking and talking and debating. It's not just about, sitting back and being entertained.
Right. It's about connecting with those deeper themes.
Yeah.
And in this case, it's about, challenging what we think we know about a character and being open to new ideas.
Exactly. And at the end of it all, whether it's Rylance or Lithgow or someone else entirely, what really matters is that they capture what makes Dumbledore.
His wisdom.
His compassion.
That twinkle in his eye.
Exactly. It's about embodying that, that feeling of wonder, that sense of possibility that makes him so enduring, so beloved. Makes me wonder, if Lithgow does get the role, what do you think he'll bring to it? What unique qualities?
That's a good question. I think he could bring a certain, playfulness.
Yeah.
A sense of mischief that we haven't really seen much of before. Remember him in Third Rock from the Sun?
Oh, yeah.
He had this impish energy, I could see that working with Dumbledore. Adding a layer of whimsy to his wisdom.
Oh, I love that. That would be so much fun to see, those two sides playing off each other. And he's done such a mix of dramatic and comedic roles. He could really show all those facets of Dumbledore. The vulnerability, the strength.
Yeah. It's about remembering that he's a full person, with flaws and everything. Not just this perfect, wise old wizard giving advice all the time.
Right. Because even the greatest wizards, they're still human. They make mistakes, they experience loss, and they still choose to fight for what's right.
That's such a good point, and I think that's a message that's really important, especially in the world today. That even when things are dark, there's always hope. Always a reason to believe in good. Just like Dumbledore taught us.
Beautifully said. No matter who plays him, that's the message I hope comes through.
Well, I think that about wraps up our deep dive for today. Thanks for joining us as we untangle this whole casting mystery.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, everyone. We hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, may your wands stay sharp, your minds curious, and your hearts open to the magic of storytelling.